So this is cooking your brunch all in one pan. This is cast iron. It's square and it's got grill lines in it. So listen. See that? So what I do is I add water, and my sausage is really long, so I cut it in half so Pearl and I could share. And because the room is a little bit of an incline to one side, the water goes to one side of the dish. So I put my eggs in this side to steam and boil and cook inside. And then as soon as this water's down right here, nice hot spot, I've got fresh vegetables all cut up that I'm going to cook in there. Now the water will boil away, and then the sausages will have really nice grill marks on them. Now I roll the eggs around every half a minute or so and just let them get cooked on all sides. It's not like actually sitting in boiling water where it's all getting heated evenly. This is just, and you've got to be careful because once the water boils away, you don't want your eggs to explode. So you really have to watch them. You're just kind of bopping them around a little bit. If you watch enough of my videos, you're going to find that I whistle a lot. Whistling's good. Singing's good. The entire world would burst into song out of nowhere like in a musical. How could anybody be angry? Now, because sausage is pork, you want to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. So that's why I boil it first, to give it a really good start. And then it'll go on to this part of the cast iron. See, now you can see the grill marks on it with the water boiling away. How cool is that? Everything I use around the Cookstove is metal with silicone handles or something thereabouts. This old fork was given to me, and I use it around the stove because it's metal, and it's almost like a plastic kind of coating on it, so it doesn't get left on the Cookstove at all, because you know darn well that'll melt right off of there. But everything else is pretty well fireproof. So in we go with the vegetables. And half a cup. That was left over from the dinner I made out of boneless pork ribs last night, which was absolutely outstanding. The sauce on it was cider, and it was just wonderful. I've actually got photographs with the instructions. I have to post that somewhere. Just let this cook up until these are a little bit tender, and now that the water's boiling away, all down to one end here where the eggs are, we'll get grill marks on the sausages in a few minutes. Now you can see how fat the sausages have gotten, all swelled up, and my mouth is watering. Look at that. Not quite done in the middle. Another minute or so. Maybe 2. Maybe 4. Whatever it takes. I'm going to soon take my eggs out in the shell. They won't be quite done all the way through, but pretty darn close. And the veggies are looking pretty darn good. I like mine so they're still a bit crunchy. But the smell coming off of this is, smell-o-vision. Come on, Willy Wonka. Gotta get smell-o-vision on. That's the one technology I'd go for. Smell-o-vision. Just so I could share my smells with people. Another minute or 2. Here we go. Remember, everything around a Cookstove. You don't want to put your bowl right over here because this is the hot spot. So we're just going to lift the eggs out in just a second. Notice I moved to a set of little tongy things. Certainly is easier to do this. Sorry, I keep kind of rolling over. My hand keeps rolling over to Pearl's bed. It must be missing her because she's where? Where else? Sacked out on the sofa. No room for people. I had to move to the chair. She kept pushing me off. She says, "Oh, Mama, I love it here with the cook stove so warm and me on the couch. Look at that. So now that our water's all gone away, I'm going to actually move the eggs over to the little metal bowl. Ooh, little metal bowl's hot. Yeah, we'll move this one over. And then we're going to take the little metal bowl, like this, over and set it inside the camper. There we go. Trust me, they'll keep cooking for a while. We're going to move ourselves back out here. Oh yeah, this is doing it now. Scooting it right along. We're going to set those down and pick up our fork again. We're going to check our rice, which I have cooking in here. I made brown rice. I've never made brown rice before, and it takes forever to cook. 45 minutes, as opposed to, we're just going to slide this one over onto the low side. There we go. Pick that all up like so. Everything's snap, crackling, and popping. There we go. Now we're going after the marks on the sausage. Look at that. Num num num. So I'm just spooning my veggies out of the pan. Onions smell perfectly done. They're not quite see-through yet, but everything else, I love just biting into that little bit of a crunch. You got the softness of the eggs and the crunch of the vegetables, just a little crunch, not much. And then that beautiful juice is coming out of those sausage. Just makes your mouth water, doesn't it? Hear those cooking away. We're getting that wonderful lines on there and the flavor coming out. Oh, I can't get, boy, it's hard to do with one hand, tell you truly. Look at that. Well, they look good. See if I can get these onions out of here. And a yellow pepper. We'll chase those around the pan for just a second here. Maybe. There we go. Look at this. Hanging on the edge. And take those in. Woo, that's warm. Yeah. There we go. Those are in. And we're back out for the sausages. So remember, I always keep shaking the water off the tongs. These are your hot plates. These are the hottest ones right over top of the fire. The two in the center, this one and the one under here, are medium. And then the rice is sitting over here. It's still on a very light boil, but it's not going overboard. So you want your rice to finish up at a low boil, not a fast one. Whatever you do, don't touch this pan with your hands. Remember the gloves that I have? I'll show you those back in a minute. I'm just going to set these over here and warm it up a bit. And I'm going to grab one of my gloves. There we go. Yeah, that's my head. That's a shadow of my head. Woo, the phone's hot for being so close to the cook stove. So here we are. And here's one of my gloves. I have a yellow fuzzy glove from Harbor Freight and brown jersey gloves. And you can see how well used they are. And where the red's shining through already, that can get a little bit warm if I'm not careful. So, yeah, almost done. Nice marks. Another minute or so. Get them a little bit more brown. So we're checking out how the burn's going. Feel the heat coming off of that. Just feel the heat. Now, old timers, now I could actually drag this pan right directly over top of the fire, which would give me a really searing heat. That's like over 500 degrees. But it's not necessary because I like them to cook slower, and you can see the smoke coming off of them now. So they're getting pretty well done. And I'm going to soon move them off. Had to reach for my tongs. Let's turn those again. See? And let's look at the end and see how it is. Wow, looks good. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Oh, yeah. There, we're cooking with gas. Actually, we're cooking with wood, which is way better. So here we go. Last one. And off we go. Let's set the tongs up and then we will pull this off. Now I have a basket hanging over the stove. Over there. It holds everything for the cook stove. Makes it easy to find. Boy, I'll tell you, you set something down in a trailer and you're bound to lose it sooner or later. So let me just serve this up and you can see the end result. Now, as you can see, I brought them back out onto the cook stove. They were a little bit pink in the center because they're so fat, and you just don't want to take that chance. The nice thing about cutting them up into little discs and putting them back in the rack is you get that nice little lines on each individual one as they cook up a little bit through. But you want to be really careful with anything pork, and you just don't want to take a chance that it's not cooked through. So you want it to be a pale brown color, or a little golden, but definitely make sure that it's done all the way through before you bite into that and get it into your system, because it's not like beef, which needs to be cooked to 70 degrees. So you just need to make sure that it's done. While the sausages are doing their little last minute finish up, I wanted to show you I broke the egg and took the shell off, and I've got a soft boiled egg. The whites were all done and the yolk is soft boiled, so the vegetables and the egg are sitting in there keeping warm, and Pearl likes hers kind of runny over her food, so at least this time she's not sucking it out of the actual raw egg. We're going to actually give it to her cooked, so that's coming along nicely. We're going to give it another minute or so. There we go. So Pearl is going to be in heaven. There's her egg and her little bits of sausage. She gets the ends. But we're going to set that in the trailer on the stove and let it cool down a bit. That's just too hot for her. And we're going to make our way back out here. And we're going to try to get our glove on with one hand. Oh, look at and now you know why people talk funny when they're filming things. Look at those. Aren't they adorable? And now they're cooked through. So, see if I can push everything else over and make room. Make sure my bowl doesn't get burned. So look at that. Those and my egg and everything. Let me plate it up and we'll all sit down to eat. So there we are, all plated up. We've got our mixture of onions, red and green peppers, the egg that I did in the frying pan with the sausage and just a little tiny bit of water boiling, and it'll have a soft center, and then all the little sausage discs, which cook them through a little bit better. So good luck on the cook stove, and remember, always have a glove handy, always be really cautious, and never pick up wood without a glove on because your hands dry out really badly. And make sure you stay moisturized and really enjoy that heat. Be safe.